I ended up writing a book called The Urban Farm. And I have postcards if anybody wants to grab one. But I also have a blog called Sustainable Eats where I have lots of pictures of the last first 3 years of the garden and failings and stuff like that. But this is what the book looks like too. So you can always find me on my blog, or you can email me. You can find my contacts through the blog to email me later on.
And your books are for sale out there. No?
They're for sale out there. Yeah, I have some copies here with me, so thanks to me. But my co-author did this drawing of my yard. So basically what I did was I ripped out the whole front yard and really focused on vertical growth, put the animals in the back, ripped out the parking strip, which was illegal at the time, but it's now legal in Seattle. Seattle is pretty liberal, and I know not all places are liberal, like the woman who wasn't allowed to grow in the alley and had to take her whole garden out, which is really a bummer. But anyway, this is just sort of an overview to give you an idea of if you really wanted to focus on food. I do have some edibles and some evergreen things too here, but there's just a ton of food and really not too much more than food. So I'm going to move on to the next one. And this is just a one day, I just went out to the garden and came back. It's a little bit dark, but this is what I brought back. And then I thought, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So I don't shop anymore. I just go out to my yard, and a lot of it's learning to eat seasonally. So I would not walk out in January and find stuff like this. I might not even find eggs unless I use supplemental light, but there's actually a lot of stuff. So, and there was a lot of greens. I didn't happen to harvest that day because maybe we were sick of greens from the day before, because there's always greens. But I want to start going through dirt. So in the city, you're starting sometimes with toxic soil. You don't know what was there before. It might have been a machine shop, or it's not light, fluffy loam because it's not a forest floor. So you're starting with something, maybe you ripped up concrete. So soil is one of those things that you can pretty easily set up a compost pile. It can be as simple as you want in the shade. Some people have these just gorgeous 3-bin systems, like my co-author's really into compost and likes to engineer things. And I'm super lazy, so literally I have a chicken coop that's elevated, and I just sweep everything into a pile. And when my husband cut the grass, he would put the wets on the dries, and we would throw chicken scraps out there, and the chickens would go through and turn it over, and I didn't really have to do any work at all. And you can go around, you can get leaves from your neighbors in the fall. Right now is a great time to accumulate as much biomass as possible. The pumpkin fields, you can go get those pumpkins and sunflowers, those corn stalks, chop them up with a machete, which I'm even too lazy to do that real fine, so I move the bigger stuff over to the side, and when it breaks down enough, then I move it in. And I don't even turn. I hate to make the chickens work for me. But the first thing you want to do is start compost, just like